Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, March 7th, and we're going to get into today's free trade idea. So, we are actually looking at Ulta. Now, let's go ahead and take a larger view or macro view of what Ulta has going on. So, it appears that for the last few weeks, Ulta has actually been in somewhat of a downtrend. And if we look a little bit closer, we can see that Ulta is actually responding to a weekly demand zone. All right, so now that we see where it's operating, let's go ahead and move over to the daily time frame and see what we have going on that particular view as well. So if we look a little bit deeper, we see that we can narrow down that demand zone just a little bit more. And if you look, you'll see that we actually, I'll remove this here so that you can get a greater view. You'll see that we actually push down to this demand zone from the daily time frame and then responded to that. Also, if I look at the RSI, I see that we're a little bit oversold here, and it looks like we're somewhat getting a crossover on the MACD. Now, it hasn't crossed completely. It's still in a place where it can, continue down, but it is converging and overlapping. So it could actually cross over, and this could be the start of a move to the upside on Ulta. So, with that being the case, I would want to opt for something that has a little bit more time on the expiration because if Ulta decides to pull a little bit today and then have a reaction to the upside, I want to be able to capitalize on that. So, that's going to be to the upside. But remember, the strat tells us to be prepared for either direction. And so we will do just that. And also, if you look here, Ulta has earnings on Thursday of next week. So they could very well be getting ready to start a run, especially since they pulled it to this demand area. Let's go ahead and chart this thing out. So we do have a two up. And this will give us our put entry on the daily time frame. So we need to also look for our call entry. So we're going to move over to the 4-hour time frame for that. And we actually have an inside candle. So now we have an earlier entry for both puts, and then we have our entry for calls. So let's map that out as well. All right, so we have the call entry going on here. And then we have to figure out what our magnitude is. All right, so to the upside, we're looking at about 366.73. And that will be our ATR target. And then to the downside, let's see here. We're looking at about 343.27. All right, and then we have to obviously map out our targets. So the first price target that triggers after the 4-hour will actually trigger the daily entry for puts. All right, so we have PT 4-hour here, and we don't need to do another one because the ATR target is right there. And then to the upside, and that will be our only price target to the upside. So what I am looking at for Ulta, I am looking at for calls, I'm looking at in the money all the way to 365. But I will be opting for next week's expiration or at least 2 full weeks out. So you can go that following week as well. So in the money to 365. And then to the downside, I will be looking at in the money to 345. So in the money to 345 for this week. But if I'm looking for the calls, let's say if it breaks for calls, I'm actually going to be looking to get some time on it because if they do decide to run for earnings, I want to be a part of that. So I'll say that one more time. I would be looking at, let me pull up my calendar here. So I will be looking at in the money to 365 for either March 14th or March 21st. And then to the downside, I'll be looking at in the money to 345 for this week. So today's expiration, which is March 7th. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Send this to a friend or a loved one. Also, if you want to keep up with the performances of these particular trade ideas, feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well as Threads. My handle is the same. It's iCurlyK, and you'll see me reposting the people who's taken these particular trades on my channel. All right. So I hope to see you in baggage claim. Have a blessed day. Bye.